We are now joined by Franca Pellegrini, who is the director of Global Freedom Network. Franca, thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thanks, Leanne. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Tell us a little bit more about this Walk Free Foundation and Global Freedom Network. What is it all about?
Sure. So the Walk Free was founded in 2010 by Andrew and Grace Forrest. And it is funded by Minderoo Foundation, which is a philanthropic foundation based in Australia. But we work on issues all over the world. And Global Freedom Network is the faith-based arm of Walk Free.
So the intent, I mean, as I was saying in the introduction, something like this actual declaration, what is it, the bigger meaning of what it all is all about? We know it started in the Vatican. Pope Francis was the first to sign this declaration, but perhaps you can talk us through the declaration.
Sure. So, yes, the declaration did start at the Vatican in 2014. And since then, it's travelled all over the world. We've had signings in Indonesia, India, Australia, Pacific Islands, Colombia, Argentina, and as you said, DRC, Kenya, and now South Africa. And really, it's a symbolic event to bring awareness around the issue, but also to connect these faith leaders together from all the different signings so that they can work together on this issue hand in hand.
Why is it necessary for religious leaders to sign this joint declaration against modern slavery and the actual purpose of it? I mean, if it's going since 2014, we're here in 2022, what is the purpose at the end of the day, and why religious leaders?
Well, religious leaders see into the hearts of the communities. You know, they see their community members, sometimes weekly and sometimes even more frequently than that. And they can, really, talk about this issue in their place of worship, bring awareness around it and be there to support their congregants. And I guess in terms of, since 2014, the faith leaders have done it, different campaigns, whether it's ground up, whether it's within their community or whether it's working, with the government or with large businesses as well, because you need government, business and faith to work all together in order to fix this problem. If not, the problem will never be solved.
I'm going to start with asking, I suppose, maybe an obvious question to some, but perhaps not to others. What is modern slavery? I mean, let's get a definition to what this is actually tackling.
Yeah, so it's an umbrella term which uses to describe different crimes under that. So like you mentioned in the introduction, there's human trafficking, there's debt bondage, there's forced marriage. So there's different definitions that sit under that umbrella. That's the easiest way to explain it. And all those different definitions then fall under that larger term. So that's how we used to explain the different definitions that sit under that. It's not like the transatlantic slave trade was obviously one part of history, whereas this now there's different things like, for example, forced marriage, that sits under that umbrella.
Yeah, I mean, this is something, I imagine, that affects every single industry. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are. My understanding is, this would, from a clothing manufacturer to a mining company to everywhere. I mean, something like this is happening. So this all, whether or not you want to get married against your will, the plight of refugees. I mean, is this the kind of understanding that you're referring to here?
Exactly, Leanne. And I think in terms of what you just mentioned, the garment industry, so you need to work with business in order to fix that issue. And then you need the government to come on board as well. And really, obviously there's an act here in South Africa as well, like most countries, but really trying to push that and make that legislation stronger as well.
So we look at the different religious sectors that are obviously getting involved and signing in something like this, where we've spoken through some of the countries, whether it be Kenya, the DRC, starting in the Vatican, which is obviously it's a the Catholic start, Catholicism in the Vatican. Is this all religions? I mean, have we seen different religions signing their allegiance to this as well?
Correct. The philosophy of GFN is interfaith dialogue, so that's very, very important. So yes, we have all different faiths, like you mentioned, Catholics, Anglicans, Methodist, Islamic, Hindu, Protestant. We work with all the major faiths, and you need to work with all those different faiths in a country that's deep in faith, such as South Africa. We're working with all those different faiths, and today holding the signing at Constitution Hill.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the signing. So that was going to be one of my questions. Well, the next one actually was, where is this going to be taking place? Who will be signing it? When is it happening? Talk us through the details.
Yeah, so it begins this morning. We at Constitution Hill in the Women's Jail, and we picked that location venue because it's symbolic significance, and we thought it would be a wonderful backdrop to hold our signing in. But prior to the signing, we're also having a closed round table with senior faith leaders talking about the issue and what they can do in South Africa.
Wonderful. So who actually, I know it's different faith leaders in South Africa are part of it. Are there going to be a number of faith leaders signing?
Yeah. So we've got 8 signatories signing today from all the major faiths, which is fantastic that they're coming on board and joining. We're now over 100 signatories of the Declaration Book, which is wonderful. So very happy.
Wonderful. I mean, the kind of things that you're talking about in terms of this modern slavery, obviously you have a network here in South Africa. How bad is the situation in South Africa? I mean, what are the kind of things that you are seeing in terms of that falls under the definition of modern slavery in this country?
Yeah, one of our hero products is the Global Slavery Index, and that ranks country by country how much modern slavery they've got. And South Africa is actually rated as B, which is much better than some countries in Africa. So it's wonderful to see South Africa is doing some wonderful things. So the Global Slavery Index is 2018 edition states that there's 155,000 people in South Africa victims of modern slavery, and that number will be updated this year. The 2022 edition comes out later this year.
Yeah. Finally, in terms of the app, I know that there's a Faith for Freedom app that's also being launched. Perhaps you can talk to us about this, what this is all about.
Yeah, correct. So that is being launched today as well. The Faith for Freedom app was really born out of a trip 3 years ago, my first trip to West Africa, and speaking to faith leaders, and some knew about modern slavery and some didn't really know much. So we decided to find a tool that could explain the issue and talk about what it looks like in their countries. So that was piloted last year in Ghana, Accra, in August. And since then we've launched it in Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, DRC, Kenya, now South Africa. And in there is referral pathways. So if faith leaders feel like they need some extra guidance or support, they can call that, whether it be a hotline, shelter, etc., that they can call and get some further assistance, because we never expect faith leaders to be experts in this space, but at least it's a platform where they can learn about the issue, talk about this issue in their congregations, and hopefully really open up this subject, not making it taboo, really talking about it. So if people are in trouble, then they can come forward and go to their religious leader and talk to them about the issue.
All right, well, let's leave it there. We wish you the best of luck with today's signing and the work that you are doing, and hopefully this, we'll see a meaningful contribution, an end to what we call modern slavery, and a big definition under that. There's so much to look into what actually modern slavery represents. So go visit the website. I was busy taking a look at it as well. It's walkfree.org. So it's www.walkfree.org. You'll get all the information on there as to what it's all about, the signing that's going to be taking place, and South Africa's involvement in putting its name down to this particular treaty.